Well, we've known for a couple weeks it'd be the Oregon Ducks playing in the Pac-12 Championship Game. It's their third appearance and their first since 2014. Inside our San Francisco studios, Mike Am and Yogi Roth with you. And don't forget, 4 p.m. Pacific time, we got everyone covered from Levi Stadium with our pregame show leading into that 5 p.m. Pacific time kick. All right, team identity. I always think about what is up front for this Oregon offense, especially with their coach Mario Cristobal offensive line. Is there something specific that you would point to that has you thinking that unit has maybe an advantage in this football game as they're matching up against Utah's defense?
Well, I think you got to point to their experience, right? They've played some talented defensive fronts. You start week 1 of the season, right? The whole world was watching those one in their loss to Auburn, and it was one of the most talented defensive fronts they faced all season. Then they played USC. Sure. They moved that talented defensive front, and now they have the one that I think is the best defensive front in all of college football. So what's the point? They're not going to come into this game saying, oh my God, I'm scared of Leki Fotu and Bradley Nye. They're going to say, hey, we've seen Jake Tufele. We've seen some talented players in the course of our season, so let's go. And I think they're going to need that type of confidence because this is an offense based in running the football and creating some rhythm off of that.
Is there something that you can point to from the USC win against Utah that could help Oregon in a game like this?
Well, I think it gives receivers confidence when you look at what the receivers did in that game, going up and making plays. And
there is a Pittman on this Oregon roster not playing in this game, and he's not Michael just yet.
Yeah, and unfortunately he's not playing this game, and Micah, his younger brother. But Juwan Johnson, Johnny Johnson, Jalen Redd, they're 3 completely different wide receivers, used completely different. But the consistency is this game, they're going to see man-to-man coverage all game long, specifically on critical downs and distances. So can they win? Can they beat Jalen Johnson? Can they win against Josh Nurse? Can they win in the slot against Javelin Guidry? It's not going to be easy, but when they get their opportunity, to me, this is when Justin Herbert has to play his best ball because the opportunities are minimal. He's got to throw it on him almost like a magnet, so there's no other option than to catch this ball in a game like this. So I look at them, even Spencer Webb, as guys that have to rise up when a completion is necessary.
Biggest challenge for this Oregon defense? You told me Tyler Huntley is your offensive player of the year in the conference. We know what Zach Moss brings to the table.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for them is can they disrupt the O-line of Utah? Okay. You know, you'll watch this game, you'll see the defense front of Oregon, kind of like Washington State. They'll stem, they'll move subtly before the snap. So can they move and be in a position that's advantageous for them in their rush lane? So I look at number 5, Kayvon Thibodeau, number 1 recruit in the country a year ago. He played really well against ASU, last week against Oregon State. This is a talented player. Can he, Jordan Scott, Austin Fallu, create rush lanes with their slants and with their movements for Troy Dye to make some plays? Because they have to cause havoc. They have to force Tyler Huntley to play the worst game of his season, which is not a very easy thing to do.
And it doesn't seem all that likely right now, which means we're going to have a heavyweight showdown. Levi Stadium, Pac-12 Championship on the line. From an Oregon perspective, they got to be thinking about the Rose Bowl. We got everyone covered, 4 p.m. Pacific time. And as soon as the game is done, we got you on the post-game report immediately following the conclusion of that title matchup.